Welcome to this body scan mindfulness meditation. This is an invitation to take about 10 to 12 minutes out of your day just to be still and notice what's going on with you. There's no pressure at all to go anywhere or do anything, just to be in your body and to give the thinking mind a bit of a break, really. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So all we're doing is noticing and exploring what happens as we do it. Now you can start by either lying down comfortably on a mat or a bed perhaps, or you can sit in an upright position on the floor or a chair with the spine straight but, with a bit of a sense of a softness around it. And let your arms fall by your sides, palms up if you're lying down, or if you're sitting, you can just let them fall naturally wherever they want to be. Once you're settled and sorted, you can close your eyes if you like, or just drop the gaze softly downwards. Now let yourself be here fully in this moment, knowing that you're sitting or lying down, noticing that, feeling where the body is supported and where it's held, feeling your body as a whole, breathing. It's breathing over and over again and letting your attention just zoom in on that fact, zoom in on the breath, maybe following each breath as it happens, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Just feeling the breath as it enters the body. Maybe you feel it in the chest, the belly or the throat, and then feeling it fully as it leaves the body, over and over again. And knowing that whenever the mind wanders off into other things like minds do, that you can invite yourself as many times as need be to bring the attention back to the moment, back to the body and the breath, to being here right now. And you can do this with a real sense of friendliness towards yourself. So what we're going to do now is gather up our attention, a bit like as if you had a giant magnifying glass, and move that magnifying glass all the way down through the body to the toes of both feet. Now if it helps, you can scrunch up or wiggle your toes if that helps keep your attention there. And once you've done that, you can let them be still for a bit and simply notice what's going on in the toes. There might be some tingling, itching, energy, or maybe there's nothing at all in the toes. Whether there's nothing or whether there's something, it doesn't really matter. The point is to keep your giant magnifying glass at the toes and just notice what you find in this moment. Now you can breathe in and out deeply and take your attention away from the toes and up and over the feet, the heels, the soles and the ankles. What do you find here? What does the magnifying glass pick up here? If anything, maybe you notice where your feet make contact with the floor. Maybe there's a slight sense of pressure or a certain texture that you can feel. Just give it a go. If there's nothing, then that's fine. That's just what's happening in this moment, and it's worth noticing that in itself. And if you find that that mind of yours is sneaked off into thoughts, plans, daydreams, then that's really interesting. Just notice it and gently bring it back to its task of exploring what's going on in the feet. Now we're going to allow the magnifying glass to travel up to the body, up to the lower parts of the legs and the knees, and really investigate what's going on here now. So you can leave the feet behind and notice what's going on in the lower part of the legs. What sensations can you feel? The chances are your legs have worked quite hard for you so far today, so perhaps there's some tension in the muscles, maybe some twitching or trembling, or maybe again nothing. Just let your magnifying glass drift over the front and the back of the lower legs and knees and just check it out. Check out what's going on here. And when you're ready, you can release your attention from your lower legs and let that magnifying glass travel upwards to both thighs. Now, this is a heavier part of the body, so you might notice contact with the floor or the chair, or maybe you can even feel your clothing against your skin. Perhaps there is some energy in this part of the body and you feel like you need to move or roll the legs slightly. That's fine. Do what feels good for you in the moment. Maybe it's more of a tiredness, in which case stillness might suit you better. Whichever way it is, notice if any thoughts have entered your head about any of this, and if they do, you can smile at them and just allow them to pass through, and knowing that you can gather your attention back to my voice and back to this guidance as many times as you need to. Now allow the thighs to drift off, to float away from your attention, and let that magnifying glass travel upwards towards the pelvis, the bottom and the hips. Again, a heavy part of the body, and you might feel some contact with the floor or the chair or whatever it is that's supporting you. You might feel your clothing quite easily here. And if the mind drifts off, bring it back to that magnifying glass and its task of noticing and exploring. Maybe take a deep breath in and out, and as you do that, let the magnifying glass focus now on the entire area of your back and shoulders. It's a big area, so notice what might be happening here. Lots of people have tension and discomfort in this area, and if you notice that, just let it be there. Experiment with just allowing it to be. You might also notice the contact that your back and shoulders make with the chair or the floor or your mat, or maybe even your clothing again. Or perhaps it's hard to find anything at all, so just allow that. Now allow that magnifying glass to drift away from the back and shoulders and down the body towards your belly. Now, so many sensations go on in the belly day to day, don't they? So check out right now what your magnifying glass picks up. Gurgling, growling, fullness, emptiness, butterflies, whatever you find here, whether it's something or nothing. Just breathe deeply into it and feel the belly fill up with air. You can even bring your hands to rest gently on the belly if you like, being with the breath as it moves in and out and just exploring what you find here. Notice if any thoughts come up and be as friendly towards them as you possibly can, because they're all part of the moment too. Now leave the belly behind and allow the magnifying glass to drift gently upwards towards your chest. Now this is where the breathing happens, as well as the beating of your heart. And you might sense one of these, or both of these, or none of these. It doesn't matter. The sensations you find might be quite strong, or they might not. Whatever you find in the chest area is true to this moment, and it's totally fine. Now allow your magnifying glass to travel downwards over both of your arms and straight down to your hands. And just like you did with your toes, remember, we're noticing what's happening with the fingers now. Maybe they're pressed tightly together, maybe there's gaps between the finger and the thumbs. Perhaps squeeze and release your fingers or wiggle them about a bit and just get a sense of what's going on there. When they're still again, you can really start to explore. And notice the rest of the hands too. The palms, the backs of the hands, the wrists. Is there any tingling, numbness, wetness, dryness? Maybe the hands are warm or maybe they're cold. Once we've explored the hands, we can bring the attention now upwards over the arms and the elbows. Again, you might notice some contact with the chair you're sitting on or whatever you're lying on. There might be some interesting sensations from your clothing, the air around you, or even the temperature of the room. Really let your magnifying glass take it all in, what's happening around the arms. And if the mind drifts off, well, you know what to do. And now we're going to release our attention from the arms, and we're going to bring it up to the neck and the throat. We're going to scan that area. Go gently with what you notice here, because this part of the body works hard for us, supports the head all day long. If you're lying down, maybe notice what it's like to have your head supported by a pillow or the floor. Maybe you can feel your hair or your clothing against your neck. Maybe there's some tightness or some tension here. Perhaps your throat feels dry. Be friendly as you can towards this part of the body, and just notice whatever it's giving you. A big breath in and then out, and you can allow the magnifying glass now to drift upwards towards your face and take in all that this area might have to offer. First noticing your chin and your jaw, perhaps noticing any tension around here. Maybe you could experiment with opening your mouth wide and closing it a few times to stretch and awaken this area. Perhaps run your tongue over your teeth and your gums to help notice what's going on right inside the mouth. What about your cheeks, your ears, your nose? If the eyes are still closed, how do they feel? Are they relaxed or scrunched up? Maybe they're open by now. How do they feel? Let that giant magnifying glass zoom in to your eyelids, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, and all the way upwards to your forehead. Let's get interested in this forehead. What's happening here? Is it wrinkled? Is it smooth? Does it feel relaxed or tense? And if your mind has wandered off, let's just bring it gently back for this last part of the meditation now. We're breathing in, we know we're back here in the moment, and breathing out, we finally bring our magnifying glass to the very top of the head. Here, maybe you sense your hair or your scalp and know that this is the tallest point of your body. At this final part of your body scan, what can you notice? Itching, tingling, sense of temperature or the air around you? Even if there's nothing there, that's all just part of this moment, and let's just welcome it like that. Now finally, having scanned the entire body, you can let the magnifying glass become really huge now, so that it takes in the entirety of your body as you're sitting or lying here, getting a sense of it all as the breath flows in and out in waves. Notice how you feel now. You might feel like you need to move in a certain way because you've been still for a while. So when you hear the bell ring, I'm just going to invite you to do whatever feels good for you in a slow and gentle way. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe opening the eyes, maybe sitting up slowly and carefully. Or, you might want to stay still, lying down or sitting for a bit longer, and that would be totally fine too. Thanks so much for spending your time and energy on this body scan practice with me, Abigail Yardumja. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel for more mindfulness meditations, and if you enjoyed this practice, share it with somebody else who you think might enjoy it too. Go well.